morning, guys. Good morning on this fine Monday morning. This is Brian VANDUYN, owner and operator of VANDUYN dump truck. You guys already know that, though. You watch my channel every time. I just say that because you never know when somebody new is going to watch the channel, and they never know. Sorry about that, guys. My drivers are number one. You know, if they call me, I gotta answer. So it was something stupid, but you know, it was an idea he had. It was a good idea, something to think about. So the title of my live stream today is "In Business, Be a Savage." Basically, you know, when you're in business, your business model is basically got to be like a monster that's always hungry, you know. When you're in business, you got to go after it. You can't get like halfway. I guess you can, but I mean, you get to a point where you either have to grow to go after it harder, or you just stay the same, you know. The problem is tricky finding, you know, how to be happy with what you got. So you end up going after it even harder, you know what I mean? You just buy more stuff and you try different avenues of revenue. But basically what I'm trying to say is you know, once you start your business, you gotta find work consistently. Like, you gotta go out and you gotta grind every day. You can't just do it one day or 2 days a week and think that's gonna be enough. The thing about running a business is you have those expenses that just creep up on you. And if you're not out there every day, those expenses are what get you. Like insurance, for example. That's one of those expenses. You don't see it every month, so it's like in the back of your mind. You know, if you're not working every day, insurance will come up every 6 months, and then it's like, BAM! Ouch! You know? It's just one of those things that will always come up behind you and slap you. If you're not working hard, every single day trying to find work, it'll come back to bite you. You know? That's why I always tell these guys, you know, that want to start their business, I said, just don't even try it part-time. You can't do it part-time. You won't make any money. You gotta go head first. You know? You gotta go head first, and you gotta go all after it. At least that's kind of what I did. I feel like that's what I did. You know? I was working full time for somebody else. I was working, you know, so many hours, 60, 70 hours a week. And then I told myself, you know, if I can work this hard for somebody else, you know, who I don't even like, I can easily work that hard for myself. Right? Like, I kept asking myself that question. And you got to ask yourself that question too, you know. If you're working your tail off for somebody else who you probably don't even like, can you work that hard for yourself, you know? But, I mean, you may not like yourself either, though, so. You know, maybe it's for your family, because I know you love your family. 99% of the time, people love their family, so. One of the things that helps me always stay hungry for work and always stay kind of a savage is I always think about how I grew up and how my life was so screwed up growing up, and how bad I never want my kids to go through what I went through, or, you know, that type of stuff. And it really does help me get my tail in gear. What's up, Blake? I got 2 supers running today. What's up, Bobby? Yep. Well, I'm driving the new super because my driver called in sick. Good morning. Good morning. So eastbound and down. Oh, it's all good, Blake. It's all good. You got to use that, you know, like, for example, like, when I was in school, I remember this one kid who said to me, he's like, and this was in high school, he said, Brian, after the first week of school, I've seen your whole wardrobe. That's what he said to me. He was making fun of me because I was so poor, you know, that I only had, you know, like 1 or 2 outfits, you know, 3 or 4 pieces of clothing, you know. He said he seen my whole wardrobe in the first week of school. Yeah. Everybody's seen my wardrobe. I wear the same thing every day. It's one less thing to think about. You know? When I was in school, that one hit me kind of hard. Like, that one was like, damn, dude. Like, how you gonna go like that? Why are you gonna say stuff like that to me? Like, I don't even really know you. You know, I don't really talk to you. I don't associate with you. Why you gotta, you know, talk bad about me like that, you know? I'm going way too fast. This road used to be a freeway. And when I was growing up, it was 50 going all the way through. Now they dropped it down to 40 because they put all these flipping houses in here. I'm going 55 down the road over here. I better slow down. I seen that kid that made fun of me in high school. I seen him like about a year ago or so at Red Robin eating he was married to this really big girl, you know, and I was just thinking to myself, I wonder if he remembers, I wonder if that guy remembers who I am. Charles Dickinson, or Dickerson, I don't remember what it, I think it's Dixon. I think that was his last name. He still lives in Spanaway. That kid, when he said that to me, I was like, really? Who gives a crap what I wear? Why are you watching what I wear every day? You know, like, why do you care what I wear? You know, you're a dude. Like, freaking get lost. You know? I don't know. I thought it was messed up, to say the least. It's so funny, you know. No matter where you grow up, you're always going to have people that think, you know, that they're on the top. Even though if they're growing up, like, in Spanaway, Graham, like, you're a nobody if you grow up in Spanaway and Graham. Like, there's nothing special about Spanaway and Graham. Oh, you didn't miss nothing. I'm just telling people, like, what has fueled me to be a savage in business? Like, what has pushed me even further in working my hardest every single day? You know? You know, in my head, I have this storyline in my head, you know, of like, and I try not to remember my childhood that much because it was kind of sucky, you know. Like, if you think about it, my dad was always in jail. My mom, you know, I felt like she chose her boyfriends over me and my brother. That's pretty messed up. I mean, and then on top of that, I had a birthmark on my head. Everybody called me Mole. You know, Mole or Crap Stain, or, you know, there's so many names. I mean, you don't have to feel sorry for me. That's just the history, you know, that's just what happens, you know. The world is a very cold place. You know, I've been fishing lately, and I've been going fishing a lot, and, you know, the way the world goes around is, if you don't eat something, you're gonna get eaten. Bobby, I'm already laughing now, man. I'm already laughing now, but I'm thankful for those haters, you know. I'm thankful for those bullies, you know, because if I never would have got bullied like the way I did, I would probably not be where I am now. Like, I already know that. Like, I would not have had the fuel to push as hard as I had. Like, I'm glad I had a hard life growing up, because the whole time I had all this energy to go out and destroy business, you know, and I just couldn't figure it out why, like, I kept changing jobs. You know, I never got fired, but after a year of being at a job, I was like, man, this ain't for me. Every single year I would go and I would find a better job that was paying a little bit more to, you know, hold you down. You got to get out and do it yourself. You got to get out and kill it. Because if you don't, somebody's going to be pushing you down. They're going to be using you as a stepping stone. That's what this world is. I hate to say it, you know. People, you know, in business, you gotta get out there and kill it, man. If you don't get out there and kill it, somebody else will, you know. Whether or not they do it for less or for more, you know, you gotta charge the most amount of money you can every time and get the job. And do a good job, you know, obviously do a good job. But you gotta get out there and just get it done. It's like when you go to gut a fish, you know, like you reeled that fish in, he's giving his life so you can eat, you know. It's like these people, you know, that you do business with, they're giving you money to do a job, you know, so you can feed your family. And, you know, business is like fishing so many times. Like, you gotta cast out there, you gotta get them interested, and then when they least expect it, you yank that sucker as hard as you can, and you rip that fish out of the water. That's the way it is in business. Like, you're out there, you cast it, you're trying to trick the fish into biting that sucker, you know. You're giving him what he wants, and then you just, BAM! You just yank that sucker. And you set that hook as hard as you can, and once you start reeling, you don't stop reeling. You keep that pole up, you know. That's what you got to do in business. I feel like that's what I've done in business, you know. Every time I get a new customer, I give them, you know, I say, hey, this is what we do. This is this. They say, okay, let's give it a shot. Boom, I hit them so hard, and they keep coming back every time, you know. And then you just, you know, you got to charge what you're worth, you know. You got to know what you're charging for also. Like, I'm not the cheapest guy out there. I'll be honest, I'm definitely not the cheapest guy out there. And, you know, what it comes down to is, what am I charging more than other people for? Okay, I'm charging people for my availability. That's one of the main things why I charge more than other people, is because when they call me, even if it's a Saturday or if it's some funky hour delivery, I'll get it done. You know, the time frame. Like, they need the load before Tuesday. Well, everybody else is swamped, so I'll tell you what, I'm gonna pick up that load on my way home, and I'll deliver it to you same day, or I'll deliver it on Saturday, or, you know, that type of thing. You know, there's lots of reasons why you gotta tell yourself you have to charge more. You know, that extra availability, you know, is one of the things why you charge more. You know, number two is You know, what are you capable of? Like, so a lot of dump truckers don't have super dumps. So in one load, I'm hauling way more. You know, also, I can get into smaller spaces with the super dump and bang it out quicker. You know, there's so many things that you have to know. What is your work worth, right? You know, be fair about it, but know your worth, you know. And I would say you're probably gonna feel like you're a savage even though you're getting paid what you're worth. You know, a lot of times, sometimes I feel like I'm overcharging people, you know, but when it really comes down to it and you list out all the things, no, I'm not overcharging. I'm being fair. This is what fair is to me. And at the end of the day, the customer either accepts it and they pay, or they look for somebody else to do it for what they want. You know, at the end of the day, nobody's putting a gun to anybody's head. It's a free market. You do whatever you want. You know, I always just try, you know, and keep my goal in mind as I'm giving bids and stuff. Like, what's my goal? You know, because you can't have other people's goals in front of yours. Because if you do that, then eventually it's going to come back around to bite you, and it's going to hurt your business. And then next thing you know, you won't be in business. You know? So they did an alright job on that. They took, like, I'm looking at this hay thing right here, Rainier excavation. They did a good job. They took forever to do that small job, though. That's a small job, man. They're still working on it. They've been working on that for like 2 months, 3 months. All they did was put an entrance in. They got a permit. They put a culvert in. They put some rock down, and they had a 40-foot entrance paved. See, it took them 2 months to do something like that. I would have had that done in less than a week. That's another thing. You got to know what you're charging for. Like, see, some guys are so big, it takes them that long to do a job because they got so much other stuff going on. They can charge a little bit less, but then they squeeze in little bits and pieces here and there. Like me, I'm charging all because, you know, what takes somebody a month to do, I do it in a week. You know? So, speed of getting stuff done is worth something. You know? The showing up in nice equipment is worth something. That's another thing. A lot of guys undervalue their presentation of their work. Like, if they show up with all new equipment, they better be charging a fortune, because that equipment is brand new. They got to charge a premium for that new look. You know? Morning. You say morning, Brandon. Because Brandon drives this truck, but I'm not Brandon.
Probably, like, you know.
I didn't know all this one. Gradually, over the time of being in business, I've this when you're doing everything. And then when somebody says, oh, well, that's extremely expensive, you can say, well, this is my cost of doing it. You know, like, I had a guy tell me, he said, well, I can get the Corey deliver it for $450 for 25 tons. And I said, yeah, you're right, you can. And I said, this is what my cost is. You know, $350 for the material, plus I got 2 hours of overtime for my driver, plus 30 bucks in fuel. I gotta charge $600. I wish I could compete with them a little bit better, but I can't. And he's like, fair deal, man. I understand. I'll pay your $600. You want to know why he chose me? Even though I was $250 more for my load versus the Corey's load, because I was able to get it done that day. The Corey was going to have him wait a week until they could fit it in. So you got to know what you're charging more for, and that's, you know, you got to have that in your presentation. You know, sure, go, yeah, pay the Corey, get it in 2 weeks. You know, if you can wait, that's bet, and tell them that too. You know, don't like try and hide stuff. You know, and tell them, you know, don't try and lie to them. You know, tell them the truth. Just say, hey, this is what my cost is. It's all out. I mean, you don't have to tell them, but I do, because I'm transparent like that. That's just who I am. This is my cost. This is why I'm charging what I'm charging. And when they see all of your costs and they see everything you got going on, then they're way more likely to be like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, let's do it. You know, if you just give them a price, a lot of times they're like, oh, that's ridiculous. Like, I'm not paying that much. And it's like, dude, you know, a lot of these people don't know you have a truck payment that's $4,000. These people don't know your insurance is $10,000 every 6 months. You know, $6,000 every 6 months for a truck. They don't know you're spending $250 in fuel a day. They don't know that you just spent, you know, $4,000 on tires. They don't know that you just spent, you know, $600 on brakes. They don't know you just spent $2,500 on a stupid lighting problem that still hasn't gotten fixed, even though the dealer said they were going to fix